Go fly a kite, dude. And I hope they deport you. And I hope they send you to El Salvador, quite frankly. What do you think about that? Maybe you don't deserve due process because you're perfectly okay with others not getting due process. You sound like an imbecile. Get the hell out of here then.
Hey, how you doing? Hey, I'm a Trump supporter, and all the Latino community wants to wish Trump and America happy Cinco de Mayo, and we want to thank Trump for mentioning that on social media, and we're very happy with the job that Trump is doing and how he's supporting the Hispanic community.
Okay, so let's talk about that. Let's talk about how you're happy with what Donald Trump has done in the first 100 days. Al, I think we could have a good conversation about that. So, Al, are you comfortable with the economy right now and what these tariffs have done to small businesses and people all over the place that have lost their jobs and lost their livelihoods and lost their 401ks and lost their stocks? Are you okay with the fact that President Xi won't pick up the phone and call Donald Trump? Are you okay with the fact that he said he was going to end the war within 24 hours and he's no closer ending it now than on day one? Are you okay with the fact that the Israel-Palestinian conflict is worse off now than it was on day one? Are you okay with the fact that he lied to you and he said no tax on tips? He lied to you and he said he would lower the price of inflation, and people like you believed him, and gas prices are actually up since day one, not down. Inflation is up since day one, not down, up 0.5%. Are you okay with any of those things that I just mentioned, or would you agree with me it's not good for the economy?
Well, I'm looking at the way the border is, and I'm very happy with that.
Didn't ask you about the border. Didn't ask you about the border. Al, I'm happy.
I don't have an opinion.
Al, I'm happy. Al, so you're going to be a coward. So you're going to be a coward and hang up the phone. What an idiot. What an idiot. Okay, I'm so glad that Al called in. You imbecile. You see, when you confront somebody, a MAGA moron, and make no mistake about it, Al is a coward and a MAGA imbecile. You see what happens? They call into the show. They say they love what he's doing. And then I rattle off about 10 things that he's doing based on his policy that have hurt the country. And instead of Al addressing any of those issues, he brings up the border and then he hangs up the phone. Because number one, they're not smart enough to have a discussion. They're certainly not smart enough to have a debate with me. And they certainly can't defend their ridiculous positions. Oh, I don't want to talk about that, but let's talk about the border. Okay, imbecile, let's talk about the border, even though you're a coward and you hung up the phone. Let's talk about the fact that this country was founded on immigrants, yet he's giving people no due process. There was a woman last week that was breastfeeding her child. I think it was a Latino woman, by the way, Al, but you probably don't want to talk about this or you're unaware of it because you're an imbecile. She was breastfeeding her 1-year-old daughter who had health issues. They literally took her away while she was breastfeeding her 1-year-old daughter, did not give the daughter the opportunity to even go with her. This woman did not get due process. Oh, yeah, by the way, her husband is a legal citizen. You want to talk about immigration? Let's talk about immigration. Let's talk about the fact that he's going into synagogues and churches and schools and deporting a bunch of nonviolent criminals. Let's talk about the fact that he's sending some people to one of the highest maximum security prisons in the world with no due process. A man where the Supreme Court voted 9-0 that this Maryland man needs to be expedited back to the United States of America, and Donald Trump is not doing so. You want to talk about immigration? Let's talk about immigration. That you have so many people in this country that overstay their visas, but they're not brown people, many of them. So Donald Trump doesn't care about that, but he wants to talk about the border. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about the fact how he decided not to tell the Republicans not to vote for this bipartisan border bill. Let's talk about that. But you see, you don't want to talk about those issues. You happen to be a Latino man yourself, and you're despicable because you're okay with people of color not getting due process. You're okay with people that look like you that are in this country that might have a spouse that is a legal citizen, that might have kids that are legal citizens, getting deported with no due process. You're okay with a human being, legal or not getting due process. And you have the gall and the stupidity to call into this show and say, I like what he's doing on immigration, and then hang up the phone like the imbecile coward that you are. Don't call back into the show unless you have the guts to be able to have a conversation with me. Otherwise, go fly a kite, dude. And I hope they deport you. And I hope they send you to El Salvador, quite frankly. What do you think about that? Maybe you don't deserve due process because you're perfectly okay with others not getting due process. You sound like an imbecile. Get the hell out of here then. What do you think about that? And I don't care where you're from. I don't care the color of your skin. I don't care what country you were born. If you are that stupid of a human being, for me to list a number of different things that Donald Trump is doing to this country and the damage that he's costing this country, and you don't want to address any of those issues, and your only stupid statement is, I like what he's doing with immigration, then you're an idiot. So go move to Gaza, Go move to Russia and hang out with your boy Vladimir Putin, because we all know how close you guys are to Russia and how badly you want Russia to win this war. And don't call back into the show, and have a nice day. And God forbid they treat you in Russia like they treated Brittany Griner. But unlike them, I won't ask you to stay there in prison, because, you know, many of the MAGA Republicans like yourself who attacked a woman because she's a woman of color and because she happens to be a lesbian, you see, I'm not like that, Al. I don't want Americans, with all seriousness, to be prisoners in Russia, no matter whether you're a MAGA supporter or not, no matter what the color of your skin is, in all seriousness. But don't ever call into this show again. I've had it with you. If you're not willing to have a conversation and you sound like the idiot that you are, have a nice day. He's done nothing for Latinos. You couldn't name one thing. And he certainly has done nothing for people that look like you, only threaten people like you and threaten deportation and maybe even members of your family. Have a nice day, and go ahead and call into your right-wing echo chamber radio shows. I could care less with 3 listeners, but don't block one of my phone lines for an intelligent caller so some moron like you could call in and embarrass yourself. Have a nice day, you frickin' idiot.